Hi everyone, thanks for joining. Hi Ronnie, hi Malcolm, hi Leslie. Hope you're doing okay, Leslie. Here I am, 25th of December 2023 at Shepiston Lane. Now, every year around this time I go somewhere, whether it's Shepiston Lane, Alberton Police Station, Whitehall, outside those gates of hell, I go somewhere to try and remind people of what happened to Josh, Harry and George. And today I'm at Shepiston Lane. Now Shepiston Lane is the scene of the murders of those three boys, one being my son. Now I've had some people in the past say, Tracy, why do you go there? You know, it must be very hard. And it is a very hard place to come, and it's a very sad place to be. Because I know this is where my son was murdered and he took his last breath. But when I come here, whether it's to light a candle or hang something on the tree that he fell in front of, that always makes me feel like I'm doing something for him. Absolutely. Jamie, gates as hell. It always makes me feel like I'm doing something for him, and I can only speak for myself and tell you how that makes me feel. And it's extremely sad and horrific, this place, Shepiston Lane in Hayes. But also, if we don't come here and put candles down and put flowers on the railings and everything else and posters up and keep reminding people of what happened here, if no one came here, then the council would take everything away because no one is visiting it. They would take everything away, and that would stop reminding people of what happened here. And I don't want that. It's so important that everyone knows what happened here and everyone is reminded of what happened here, because this was the scene of three murders that night. And it should have rocked the whole nation. But unfortunately, it didn't rock the whole nation, because the same as us and my family and their friends and the other boys' families and the rest of the people in the nation, you was not told the truth. You was told this was just a drunk driver out of control that lost control of his vehicle, clipped a curb, mounted the pavement and killed the boys. That was a fake narrative. A fake narrative. Now here, Shepiston Lane, that there is the slope. I don't know if you can see it. There it is, sorry. That is the slope that those in the car mounted that night. 26th of the 1st, 2018. 5 boys were happily walking along that pavement at that time, on their way to their friend's 16th birthday party, not far from their destination. As many of you know, just round the corner there, just round the corner, is where they would have been to their place of safety. They all heard a kick down. They all turned to see a car mount the pavement, and in a split second, 2 of those boys were knocked to the side. And it's important to remember that there were 5 boys here. 5 boys that car aimed at. 2 were knocked to the side. The car hits George, then my son, and then Harry. Harry landed on the bonnet, which blocked the driver's view. He carried on all the way down that stretch of pavement, and because Harry was on the bonnet, he couldn't see, so he clipped a lamppost, which then flung Harry into a wall, and the wall came down and landed on top of Harry. And I believe this is where it went wrong for those in that car. Sorry, they've stopped the comments. I can't see any more comments. There's no more comments coming through. And I believe that's what went wrong for that car that night. So it had to pull over onto the right, and all of those got out of the car and ran. Some young boys ran after them and caught one of them. The one they claimed was the driver. But their aim was to get away, and I believe had not Harry landed on the bonnet of that car that night, they would have got away. I have no doubt in my mind that the police would have said the car was stolen, and then they would never have found anybody who they claimed was responsible for this that night. That night and days that followed, the media were printing stories of what they claimed happened here that night to all of us. And that's all it was, a story, a fable, using propaganda, a fake narrative made up, lying through their teeth, a tactic that they use, which is, when one lies, one should lie big enough and stick to it. And they will keep up their lies, even at the risk of looking ridiculous. And as you all know, there's a documentary out there which has so much evidence to prove what happened here that night and that the police were lying. They believe people will believe a big lie sooner than a little one. And if they repeat it often enough, people will sooner or later believe it. And that's how they use propaganda on you all. And not just with our boy's story, on a daily occurrence. Unfortunate for the police and the media who followed orders to cover this up. It did not take long for us families to know the police from Alperton Police Garage were lying to us. Their lies had more holes in them than a watering can. On the 18th of March 2018, I went to Speaker's Corner, as you all know, and spoke to anybody who would listen to me. And there were plenty of people at Speaker's Corner, and anyone who goes there knows that you get a lot of people there. And there was plenty of people listening to the boy's story that day. During the coming months after that, it didn't take me long before I saw that they can't have a real mother. And I emphasise the word real mother. They can't have a real mother speaking out, trying to ask for support and let everybody know what happened to Josh, Harry and George. The real version, not the media entertainment fake news version. It then becomes vitally important for the police to use all of its powers to try and repress me. That's what they've tried to do over the last 6 years, and I know many of you know that, but there's plenty of people that don't know that. Because the truth is the mortal enemy of their lies. There was no investigative journalist out there that should have been investigating this, who he was talking to. There was no police investigation into the murder of our 3 boys. SO15 came to this scene that night. SO15 were there. Counter-terrorism. Do they go to every scene of every so-called, what they call, accident? More tactics followed. A hit piece on BBC Newsnight, trolls, infiltrators, provocateurs, who are all there to deceive you, the listener. They wanted to use anything they could against me and say anything they could against me. Sorry. They wanted to use anything against me and say anything they could against me. To put people off me. This is how they do it, and they use all social media platforms to do that. They would go as low to say that I sent my son out to sell drugs that night. And no one would question these trolls. No one would stop to think, well, why are they only saying that about Tracy's son? Why are they not saying it about any of the other boys? And it's because I was the only one speaking out. People, I've said before, if anyone says anything to you about anybody, not just me, ask for evidence. It's so important. Now, they can say anything they want about me. I'm strong enough to take it. It means absolutely nothing. But don't you dare try and discredit my son. Don't you dare. How dare you, all of you, are weak. You trolls, provocateurs, police grasses, the whole lot of you are weak. You've sold your souls, and if you could, you'd sell out your own mothers. I can hold my head up high. You can't. I have met many parents in the last, met many people in the last lot of years, and met many groups. Certain groups, they say they support me. Yet in reality, they don't support me, and that is shown in their actions, because there is no actions. It's all fake to keep you believing that you've got this support out here, that they will help you, that they will stand up. It's not true. It's fake. They do nothing. They pretend. And one of the things that shocked me most is how I was brought up. I was brought up to stand up and to defend to the end. I thought that's what we were, defenders. What happened to the lions that once walked amongst these lands? What happened to the brave? What happened to the courageous? And what happened to honour? I was brought up that your word is your honour. Is it easier for everyone to believe a lie than it is to know the truth, because then you don't have to face it? Then you can pretend it hasn't happened. I came out into the open to tell you of what happened to my son and George and Harry, but not just for them. Not just for them. For your children too. For all your children. Because if it can happen to my son, it can happen to yours. This system isn't for us. This system is set up for the powers that be. There is no justice in those scales. They have the media, they have the police, they have the CPS, and they have the courts. They would rather take someone's freedom away for a victimless crime than put someone away and investigate a real murder, even when it concerns children. I've got things flashing up now saying slow connection and all that. I never get that. You know? Listen, people, take care. You know, to anybody that does fear and live in fear and wondering what is going to happen next, don't live in fear, because otherwise everyone can live in fear until there is nothing left. And the poor generations that come after us, we can make changes, but we need all of us to unify and become one. And the strength in that is amazing. There is so much power in it. You just don't fear. There is nothing to fear. Nothing, apart from what is going to be left behind for your children and their children. Because evil people prevail when good men do nothing. Listen, I send my love to you all, and all those who spent today on their own. One less person at your table, one less someone calling you mum. I think of you all, and I care about you all, even if I don't know you. So everyone, that's it for me. I just wanted to come on and quickly speak to you all, let you all know that I'm still here. We can do this. I don't have all the answers. If I had all the answers, I would tell you them. I don't have them. I don't have them all. I have some, but I don't have them all. And now I'm getting up slow connection again. So you all take care. Enjoy the rest of your day, and keep strong. And remember, you are a lot braver than you realise. You've just got to remember it. You've just been downtrodden so long, too long, and enough is enough. Take care.